Okay, so I haven't been daily vlogging, but I kind of wanted today to show you how I'm still trying to be productive during lockdown. We are on day 15 of lockdown now, and thankfully we're allowed to come here to the studio during that lockdown. So I am able to be a productive photographer or human being in general despite the lockdown. So let me show you a little bit of the day. We're gonna make some postcards, we're gonna print on some more money. No, we're not gonna print money, that's illegal. We're gonna print on metal, and we're gonna play with our rabbit. And I was getting so good. Honestly, I was getting so good at coffee art. I've been making leaves and tulips and everything, and I'm so proud of myself. And then I did that, which actually, now that it's done, it actually looks pretty good. Monkey's with us at the studio because since we can't have people here, and we still wanted to be here a lot, we didn't want Monkey to be home alone. We bought these two pens and attach them together so she can run around here without getting into any trouble. Eventually one of these pens is gonna come down into the studio. So it's exciting having Monkey here. It's so much fun actually. And she adapted pretty well. She was a little bit skittish on the walk down the first couple times we did it, but now she's definitely adjusting and she loves it. And for me right now, I've got a lot of organizing to do. So I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna try to clean out my printing room, and yeah, then we're gonna do some printing actually. So let's start with that, or maybe start with some Monkey B-roll. Where'd you go, Monkey? I'm trying to film you. Hey, bud. This is our space, isn't it? We don't let Mommy in here at all. You could have talked to me instead of just smoking. If I said I need you like last July, when our heart beats race on the 95, that'd be a lie, la 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 la. 'Cause I'm fine, I'm afraid I'm for real this time. Cause I'm fine, I'm afraid I'm for real this time. Ooh, that is, it's way better. It's like 1,000 times better, but there's still so much work to do here. If you guys don't know the layout of this space, my studio is right there. This is kind of like a staff room for the coffee shop upstairs. And then this area is gonna be split. You've got my printing stuff on this side, and then on this side, we're gonna build some sort of storage station for the upstairs to keep glasses and product and stuff like that. So I've got a ton of work still to do in here. But it's starting to come together. On the internet the other day, there was a diagram that showed the life of a photographer. Basically, let me try to create it over here. But it was one of those pie graphs, and it said how people think photographers live their lives. And it was 50% taking pictures, 50% having fun adventures. Then on the other side, it was the reality. And the reality is photographers do about 4% photography, 6% fun stuff, and then the rest is a ton of different stuff. I know a lot of us are kind of just hoping to get back to the fun stuff and kind of over the work, but the work is so important. And I think it's important to build that work into your everyday life. So here at the studio, we're making lunch. And I'm gonna photograph my lunch. We could potentially use it for marketing, or you could potentially use it for stock photography if you were good at food photography, unlike me. In fact, when I started photography and I started travel photography, every single meal I ate, I took a photo of. And you'd think that would make me better at food photography, but it doesn't. But that's kind of how it was when I was starting. Every single thing I did, I tried to find a way to make a photo out of it. So the first fun thing we're gonna do today is make some lunch and take a picture of it. Okay, so I made piri piri melts for me and Jody. I'm gonna plate them because, oh mother photographer, that's hot. I'm gonna plate them because, as you guys know, the styling of the photo is probably just as important as the actual photo quality. So, tuna melts. Throw some fresh parsley on, that looked terrible. And then this is piri piri and salt flakes. And just dump that on top. Yeah, it looks like Christmas. Okay, let's take it over to the window and take a photo. So I'm taking your advice from the food photography video because I suck at food photography. And I'm not using anything except for natural light this time. I set up this table somewhat close to the window. And instead of going top down, I'm going to use side light because then it creates depth of the photo apparently. And I've got no card in my camera. Okay, so 35 millimeter. I'm going to also go to f5.6, I think. Last time I don't think I had enough depth of field. And I'm just going to basically go to 3/4, like a 45-degree angle, and change the battery pack. The battery died. But I'll show you the photos once I change the battery. Okay, the food photos came out much better than I expected. They're basic, but I think they'll definitely work. What I want to do today is actually print postcards. I want to try to make postcards in-house. I want to try to design them. I want to try to print them, cut them, everything, and then sell them in-house as kind of like the specialty item. But I still have the metallic paper in the printer, and I want to try something before I stack it away until I need it again. A lot of you guys said that you thought that astrophotography would look really good on the metallic paper. And I actually have one of my favorite photos ever is an astro photo I took here in Portugal. And basically I just want to try this photo. So this was Alentejo. This was one of those old windmills. You've got this incredible bit of Milky Way right on top of it. I really, really love this photo. And I want to try it on this, this metallic paper. So we're going to export this. For printing, I'm always exporting as TIFF files, and then my color space is photo RGB, and then my resolution is 300. And a lot of people have been asking if I change the way I edit for printing, and the answer is not really. But what I do usually is add a little bit more saturation. I feel like the paper holds color better than it does digitally, and you don't have as much flaw showing. So I tend to pop the vibrance a little bit more printing. Other than that, I really don't do anything different. And you guys might remember that the last time I printed something on metal was the Iceland image. I went borderless. I'm going to do the same thing this time because I just think that when you're printing on metal, if there's like a white edge to it, it looks less metallic. So let's see how this works. My head is up, my feet gonna shake the ground below. Okay, here it goes. Somebody once asked what percentage of the print I actually watch going through, and the honest answer is basically the whole thing. It takes a long time to print a big print like this, and I could be productive and go and do something else, but it's so therapeutic just watching it go zzz, zzz, zzz. Okay, I'm getting my first look at it, and it looks incredible, I think, first of all. Second of all, if you know my astrophotography, you know I'm not a purist. In fact, I'm not a purist in any kind of photography, am I? But definitely not in astro. And what I mean by that is a lot of astrophotographers, they really try to get sharp stars with no trail. And to do that, you need to either stack or shoot really fast exposures. I don't. I shot this at 25 seconds, I believe, and printed this size, you can definitely see a little bit of star trailing. I don't mind. I think it looks cool. but if you're a purist, it might not be for you. The paper, though, is unreal. Those of you who recommended printing this Astro on metal, well done, because this looks really, really good. It doesn't look nearly as metal as the last images did, but it looks really full and really bold, and it looks like it has a lot of purity to it. It looks really, really good. M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Okay, wow, this is awesome. The print is done, and it looks freaking awesome. That looks so good. I am blown away by how good this looks. It looks, everything just looks, I don't know, pure. I think with the other photos I've printed on metal, they have a very metallic look to it. This one almost looks more authentic than it did on paper, if that makes sense. There's a little bit of red light here that looks metallic from in the background, but the night sky looks so pure. It's just incredible. I originally thought about auctioning this off on eBay as a one of one. I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore because I like it so much. I just want to keep it myself. But for now, I'm going to spray this with protective spray just to protect it. And then I'm going to go do these postcards, and then I'll figure out if I want to sell this or keep it. Right now, I'm leaning towards keeping it, but we'll see. Okay, I made brownies, which are ridiculous. Marshmallow, chocolate chunks, and way too much sugar. I'm a bit of a realist. I really hope I don't have chocolate all over my face. I'm a bit of a realist. I think that I have a pretty good grasp at what I'm good at and what I'm bad at. I know I'm a pretty good picture taker. I know I'm an absolutely terrible designer, like the worst. And I'm horrible at Photoshop. So what I'm about to do, you're not allowed to make fun of me for, but what I'm gonna do is try to make some postcards. Okay, so we've kind of fast forwarded, I guess 30 days. The last bit that I filmed is the last that I filmed because that day that I was showing you earlier was called Being a Productive Photographer. And it was a funny day because I was super productive, but basically my battery died when I started designing the postcards. And I just felt like everything I was doing sucked. And it was really, really hard for me to continue working when I felt like everything I was doing sucked. I felt like everything was half-assed. It just didn't feel like I had my heart in it. And I was just like, I just need to step away. So in the last video, I talked about how I kind of lost my inspiration. We actually know exactly where my inspiration was lost. I printed that metal print at the start of this video. I love it. It's beyond, it makes me so happy to see. I've printed another image from Mongolia in metal that I absolutely love, and I had fun with that. But it was also kind of like seeing those two images and knowing I can't go out and make more was really disheartening. And then I started putting together the postcards, which are here, and I was just like looking at all these locations, and they're literally right there. And I can't go take pictures of them. And it just sucked. And I was like, everything sucks. Everything sucks, and I was just like, I'm done with this video. So I stopped filming it. I still made the postcards, I just stopped filming, and I didn't film for 30 days afterwards because of it. And it was like, it was kind of like this moment where I was like, lockdowns are stupid, and they're unfair. And they are all those things, and there's nothing we can do about it now. And there's nothing maybe we should do about it. It is what it is. But yeah, it sucks, and lockdowns suck. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna be a jerk about it. But yeah, anyways, the postcards are done. They've been sitting in the printing room for a month. I think they actually came out pretty cool. I was in this everything sucks mode, but I really like these postcards. Like if I Usually you go into a shop to buy postcards. Postcards are usually pretty terrible. With the exception of postcards in Iceland are always really good. So I always thought, why aren't postcards better? And so I wanted to make better postcards. I'm terrible at design, but I think they did come out pretty cool. I've done Sagres, like ones from the Algarve in general, Lagos itself, Portugal, and I've printed them on really heavy paper. I think it's 350 GSM. I'm not exactly sure, I don't remember. But yeah, like this is the one I did in metal. I turned that into a postcard and I really love that. It's a vertical postcard. So not everything I do sucks, but sometimes you just get into one of those moods where you're like, I suck, everything sucks, I don't want to do anything, I just want to eat cake and get fat. And that's been my life for 30 days and actually I've enjoyed it. It's what I needed to get back in the game. So I'm back in the game now. I'm going to have some videos coming pretty soon that should be fun. Reviewing the Nisi 15mm lens. I'm going to be walking home with it the next 2 or 3 days at the end of the day, trying to get some photos with it during lockdown. And then I'll have a little bit of a review for you once I take some photos on it. And I think the next video actually is going to be printing on a bunch of different papers because it's kind of the only thing I can do during lockdown. I have canvas paper, I have glossy paper, I have matte paper, I have metallic paper, the satin, and a bright white. And so I'm going to print the exact same image on every single one of those papers and see what comes out good and see what the differences are, because I had no idea what the differences are before I started printing. And now I think I've got a pretty good grasp on it. So that's probably what's coming next. And I think it'll probably come on, I don't know, it'll come when it comes. And I'll see you guys there. Peace.